There are a lot of problems out there in America today, and American business especially has a great deal of problems. I submit to you that the key problem in American business is that most businesses are not solving the right problem. A lot of them are pretty good at diagnosing things and addressing certain problems. The issue is they're not solving the right problems. Let me give you an example. Borders, okay? A lot of people thought Borders' problem was the internet in general, or perhaps Amazon in specific. None of that is true. The problem at Borders was Borders wanted to be in the bookstore business, and Borders' customer wanted them to be in the book selling business. So while Borders did everything they could possibly do to get people into the stores, they didn't capitalize on their key asset, which was an enormous loyalty base. They had a giant customer base with all sorts of contact information and book clubs and cards and things like that, but they were trying to get those people to come into the stores. The problem was not the internet. The problem was not Amazon. The problem was the book buying public just wanted somebody to sell them books. They didn't want a bookstore, they wanted a bookseller. So Borders set about trying to address the problem of the internet, trying to address the problem of declining attendance at their stores. And Borders spent a great deal of money trying to lure people into the stores, different incentives, loyalty programs, author signings, all of which are wonderful things to do, and I highly applaud them as individual actions. But the problem at Borders was that the buying public wanted a bookseller, not a bookstore. So Borders' unwillingness to even recognize what the right problem was caused them to attempt to address all sorts of other problems and not address the key problem. Another example, not necessarily from the business world, but it certainly is a big business, is the United States Postal Service. Okay? The problem with the United States Postal Service is not mail delivery. Plenty of mail still comes. The problem with the United States Postal Service is not wages of the postal workers or their pension. The problem with the United States Postal Service is it's controlled by the Congress. Congress decides what rates can be charged. Congress decides what customers have to be served. So the problem with the postal system is not any of the problems that are being addressed. The problem with the postal system is the fact that the United States government doesn't want the postal system to succeed in any sort of honest and earnest competitive fashion with anybody else who can deliver anything else they want to anybody they want without interference from the federal government. So the United States postal system is trying to address all sorts of other problems by shortening hours and hiring part-time workers and cutting off service on Saturdays to rural customers. None of these things are the problem. The problem that the Postal Service can't solve is that it's controlled by the federal government. And I think we would all agree, regardless of meritorious programs that are started by the federal government, that the federal government's in no position to control the basically hand delivery of parcels to 310 million people all across this country. So I gave you a Borders example, I gave you a United States Postal Service example. What you need to do is learn to focus and solve the right problem.